Sara, welcome. And welcome also every one of you to MEXA, the Mixed Augmented and Extended Reality Media Pipeline, a Horizon Europe innovation action project with 11 partners in total. And Sara Coppola from the Sky Swan and Johannes Steurer from ARRI will tell you more about it.
Okay, so thank you so much for being here today. This is MEXA, and you can see how many partners we have on the screen. It's a 30-month innovation action. It's funded by the European Commission and Innovate UK. And what does it do? Well, MEXA looks at the complexity of the whole of the pipeline for XR. So it starts looking at what tools, what file formats, what exchange protocols, and we do need today. Things have changed. The previous presentation talked about how fast the technology is evolving and consequently the way how we use it and the creative requirements. So we started at the beginning of the project looking at what tools we're making today, what we want to make tomorrow, and how we interact with the tools that the other partners are doing. How do we create an entire pipeline for creating, exchanging, and delivering high-quality XR content? And this is what came out, which is a very good representation of what everybody else is doing. And trust me, this isn't the first version. This is the final version of how complex that pipeline looks like. And obviously, it is a very research project, but is not a feasible diagram to work towards. So what have we done? We've looked at the applications. How is actually this new content being created? How we need to exchange it, what we need to exchange of this content, how we deliver it, and how is the audience consuming it. And we've identified 3 main areas. And we're going to tell you a little bit about the work we're doing, and we are going to show you some teasers of the work we've done until now. I'm going to pass it to Johannes for the next bit.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Johannes Steurer, and I'm representing ARRI in the project. But now we're talking about the work that has been done now, up to now, in the context of virtual production. So the first is production environments, and we have challenges and opportunities here. Now, what is happening? Do we get the signal? Wonderful. Yes. Okay, brilliant. So in virtual production, the notion of in-camera visual effects is appealing to directors and DPs. And why is this so? Because they get direct feedback while shooting what the content will look like at the end, so they can make more informed decisions during production. However, virtual production requires a sophisticated technical setup and integration. So we need real-time interactions between on-set devices. We need playback on the LED. This causes challenges for color timing, for color calibration between background and foreground. And we need advances in previs and tech-vis with seamless integration into the physical production. Also, we are looking into distributed operations where operators and creative staff are not always on set, but maybe working remotely. So we need the capabilities to do that. Let me see where we are. And finally, metadata is kind of the digital glue for the device-to-device communication, to glue that all together on set, but also as the information for post-production. So now let's look into some of the examples that we have. And the first one is web-based digital location scouting. So here 2 things come together. One is coming from Universitat Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona. So WebGL Studio is the environment they have developed. It's a platform to create interactive 3D scenes directly from the browser. It allows to edit the screen visually, code your behaviors, edit the shaders, and all directly from within the web-based app. So they have ported their platform for creating 3D graphics into Web GPU. And their new Web GPU engine enables users to experience digital locations seamlessly across any web and browser. It is open source. That is also important because that is one of the paradigms that MaxR is very keen about to be open source for as much as possible. Filmakademie Baden-Württemberg, who is the other partner in this presentation, their goal is to support content creation for anyone from form of consumable media with tools that are software agnostic and available as open source. Again, open source. VPET, the virtual production editing tool, is a platform for a wide range of professional production series. So now it is used in scouting digital locations for previs or for the preparation of a virtual production shoot. So VPET is a tool for content creation in pre-production stage, and it allows to explore the digital location, change lighting, navigate, and even see it in VR. Now I would like to hand over to Sara again for the next few presentations.
What we're going to do is look at what are public, hybrid, and virtual events. So generally, we talk about immersive events that are shared in a physical location by a number of people, but can be accessed also virtually and in many different ways. So, hey, XR gives us a lot of more possibilities, so let's exploit them all. What are the requirements for these? We want multiple users to walk around freely in VR in a large area and experience high quality, low latency content that is streamed on a Wi-Fi. Hey, we have our videos locally, that interact with physical and virtual objects in the space so that they really feel immersed. And we want them to see each other whilst they're having this experience, interact with the actors, and we want multiple layers of participation, where, for example, participants not wearing the headset can also see and hear what's happening. And finally, we want the actors to be able to impact the environment, but just not only with their appearance. It's quite a handful of requirements. So what have we done? Well, the University of Hassel, one of our partners, has developed a very cool technology to do a large area tracking. We're not talking about a play area. We're talking about entire buildings. And the way how they do it is they scan the building, and they have global markers and ground truth alignment and very clever technologies in order to make sure there is no drift. That is the building, the area that the experience is going to happen. And then the second layer is overlaying over this physical capture, overlay a virtual world, which is where the immersive experience happens for the audience that will wear the VR headset. Which brings us to the third level, which is tracking with accuracy where every audience participant is at any given time. And the results are very accurate, they're very promising, and in fact, it is already used in cruise performances. So these performances have been done exactly with this technology, and as you see what the virtual environment is, in a moment you'll see also there are mock-up actors and there are screens showing to the participants that don't wear a headset what is happening. And also, as the screens move, they reveal different parts of the virtual location. But that's not it. Something else we're doing, as we said at the beginning, is looking at the massively interactive live events. So these are events that are used in a completely different way. For example, we want the audience to have an intimate experience, as opposite as the one before, where it's a shared experience. But yet we are talking about audiences that are massive. We get to 10,000 participants or more. We want them to access this not with a fancy VR headset, but with a mobile phone or with any user device that we commonly have. We want the artists performing to be realistic and believable, but the capture technology cannot, under any circumstances, impact the performance. And we want the interaction with the artists, and we want the audience to be able to interact with each other. So, next video, which you see on two sides, is actually a mix of two videos. And on one side, you see the result of the experience, whilst on the other, you see the behind the scenes of what the BBC, Improbable, and other partners have registered and recorded a few weeks ago. This is an example of, obviously, it's a test environment, so the avatars you see on the screen are very basic and they're not personalized, but it's an example of how we are using 2.5D technology, capture technology, to give an online experience to a potential user, which is meaningful and obviously realistic when it comes to the performing artists. So, that's not it. This was just a teaser.
Okay, thank you, Sara. So, as MaxR is an innovation project, it's all about integrating and evaluating workflows and make them robust and reliable. So we have more work in progress that is shown here, and let me just pick out three of them because we could talk for hours about this project. So one is teleportation. In this case, which is headed by Brainstorm in Spain, two moderators are at distant locations, and they are tracking the position of the camera and of the person for the remote operator or the remote moderator to bring them to know the appropriate location and to bring them in the local location at the proper position or at the appropriate position next to the local moderator. The second thing I'm picking out is real-time compositing. You have elements on the LED wall that during physical production would need to be adopted. So you need capabilities of real-time modification for those elements, but also integrating visual effects work on set while shooting. For example, let's say you have a snow layer that should cover foreground and background equally, so it is on top of the captured content, but you would like to have that in real time. So that is the second thing you see at the right bottom. And the third one is the promo for our contribution from ARRI is camera metadata. So we are working on protocols for seamless integration of cameras and of accessories into IP-centric XR workflows. And by the way, we are also here on a booth on the, on the second floor, together with HoloBay, where you can see more about virtual counterparts, virtual twins for our physical products like lighting and cameras. Now let's look into next steps. Basically, we have a timeline here. So we have not a whole year to go until February 25. That is when the MaxR project will end. And the best way to learn new possibilities is practice. We do that internally between the MaxR partners, but also externally. And this is the invitation for you now. We do external evaluations with a user group, with an external user group. We see this as a powerful tool or powerful means to present the results from MaxR to the industry, to you, in a more detailed fashion than we can do in a 20 minutes presentation here, and get valuable feedback for the most demanding priorities from your side, and for fine-tuning the tools that we are developing and integrating and adopting our solutions towards the real-world production needs. That's it in a nutshell. Sara, what do you want to add as a final remark?
Well, there are a few partners on the floor at FMX. I'm sure there's Film Academy demonstrating, there's Foundry, there's ARRI, probably Film Light doing some demonstrations. Yes, that's great. So please go and talk to them, come and talk to us, reach out via the website, LinkedIn page, and all the social media, and ask us all the questions you want, either now if we have time.
I do think we have time, and
Yes.
right outside of this room is the small, what we call XR Expo, and we have Daniele from Filmlight showing the real-time color correction, and from Film Academy you can see the digital locations on VPad and our prototype for AI-driven character animation, which is really coming together nicely. So these are all MXR things and many other demos as well. So yeah, any questions? We have time for 1 or 2 questions. Please, don't be shy. Anybody?
Come on, we spoke quickly, so you had time for questions.
What I can also say, as you point out, there is a lot of, it's many project partners, 11 partners. Oh, this is Dan. How come you have a question?
Hello. Yes, I was part of Foundry at one point, so I was one of the partners on this, and it's amazing to see the progress that's been made since. So incredible. Going forward now, like, what is in your minds, what is the most risky part of this project? Like, what's the bit that you're least uncertain of, but you're gonna smash and solve?
I have no fears about the project. I don't think that any of what we're developing will be obsolete, irrelevant, or so on. I think we all, especially us from the older generations in the industry, are used to doing things differently. And we need to be open. We need to shift our mindset to being open and kind of accept and embrace the fact that technology moves so fast and everything moves so fast. And I think this is probably a point of strength to have so many partners in this project and a good mixture between industry and academia. Because students are always going to be fast and they're always going to be up to date with the new change.
Yeah, let me add to that. Exactly the same topic. I think we as the industry partners, need to be quick enough to adopt to the changes. I mean, we didn't talk about AI tools right now today, but of course that is the next challenging thing. How do AI tools help us to get more efficient, to get more consistent quality and everything? And how do we integrate that into our existing businesses from the industry perspective, so that our tools are relevant and are integrated into ever-changing workflows? And I think, well, just from my perspective, we are pretty confident on the virtual production part and anything that is around production of feature content or scripted content, but also like for production of live content. But I mean, being a representative of a hardware industry, we always have to balance between how much physical production you want to have also in the future, and what can you turn into the digital realm. But we think there's always a mixture and always a combination of the two of them, which makes it necessary that we talk to each other and we have these possibilities of integrating the different ideas with each other. So it's a brilliant platform for that.
That's great. Thank you very much. And well done again. It looks brilliant.
Okay, maybe one last short question, Markus.
Okay, so now with the hindsight of, having done all that great stuff, so what would you guys have done differently? What's something that you now, in your next project, you learned from this?
That's a bit of a tricky question because we keep working together. So usually what happens halfway through a project, we realize that there is new areas we haven't explored. So we try and bid again. Let's see if we are lucky enough to get further funding so that we can research new areas which we've discovered inside one of these projects. So no, nothing differently, just more of it.
And the project is ongoing. It's till the end of February next year, so about 10 more months, and lots of things are happening. Check back on the website. Deliverables are put on the website. There's publications coming in now, and I think the best way to keep in touch with MaxR is also the LinkedIn community, the LinkedIn group, which is quite active. We'll be around, and Sara will join a panel discussion later on, and we can have an ongoing discussion about what you think it is we do and should be differently. And let's thank the speakers, Johannes and Sara.
Thank you.
Thank you.